For the culture.
Back at it again, it's the For the Culture podcast. I go by the name Exotic Rose, and today we have great Zach Tate.
Hey everybody, Gangsta Guru, great Zach Tate, doing the podcast once again. What's going on, everybody?
Glad to have you back, man. This time we're doing it solo dolo. We have a new setup.
I see.
And no co-host, it's just me and you.
Let's do it.
So I wanted to talk about a situation where I was listening to the whole 6ix9ine situation and how Wack 100 did an interview with him, and he was saying that 6ix9ine is a civilian. Do you agree with that, or does that apply to him, or what's your thoughts on that?
So here's the thing about the civilian thing. Number one, when you're dealing with Wack 100, you're dealing with somebody who's like the entertaining gangster, right?
Oh, so you call him an entertaining gangster?
Yeah, I call him an entertaining gangster. And I call him entertaining gangster because people know how to leverage their street credibility. There's a whole bunch of buffoons on YouTube with all kind of shows talking about what they was doing in the 80s and 90s, lying to the public, what have you. So I call them entertaining gangsters, right? When you get to a certain age or a certain level, you realize that gangsterism is not really all that it's cracked up to be. So the reason why Wack said what he was saying, part of that interview, Wack clearly disclosed that he got a bag off of Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
So it's best to leverage or be in good graces with Tekashi because you're getting a bag. So if you are entertaining gangsterism, which means you are profiting from the entertainment of the gangster lifestyle, right? I might coin that phrase, right? Quite naturally, you're not going to offend your client.
He's making money with him.
Making money with him. So if Tekashi could pay all the bills in Wack 100's household for the next year, because Tekashi has clearly demonstrated he could violate all the rules, walk around the street like it's all good for now, and Wack is saying, well, if he could do it, and he ain't never put in no work, he ain't never been certified, he ain't never been in the pen and out the pen, did no bid, nothing. Quite naturally, Wack can say what he want to say, and he's basically proving it right. So
do you think
is 6ix9ine a civilian? No, you're not a civilian. I'm gonna tell you why you're not a civilian. Because you profited off of that lifestyle that you was into. So if I'm the square, which means I'm not in the streets, I was born in the streets, but I'm not making no money from the streets or affiliating with street activity or in the company of street people or ordering criminal acts, right? I'm getting on the phone telling dudes, go do X, Y, Z to someone. That's automatically, I'm violating the law, right? I'm a co-conspirator, co-defendant, all that right off top. So once you start doing that, you enter in the criminal lifestyle. You profit from the criminal lifestyle. You're saying, I want to join a set, I'm automatically part of the criminal lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So if this happened before all that and he was just a rapper, he's a civilian. Police is there. You pay millions of dollars in taxes for the police to protect you. But the minute you step over to this other side, you ain't no civilian. The heat came on him like many others, and he decided to tell.
He took advantage of them. That's what I see.
No way in hell he took advantage of them.
You don't think he took advantage of them?
Nah, it was mutual.
Because he's the one that, it was mutual.
It was all mutual.
But he gained the most at the end.
I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
Nah. I think when we say that, we really, what we do as a culture is that we forget what it feels like to be hungry. We looking at everybody's image, and we looking at the dude that's showing up to the different spots with the same exact outfit with no food in his fridge. There's a lot of people going to Gucci and don't know how they're going to eat for the rest of the week. Because, the values is that what we buy equates to what our value is. So I think it was mutually beneficial because a whole lot of guys that had no way of eating ever was eating good off of the Tekashi 6ix9ine gravy train. The biggest person that forehead, and he'll tell you himself from the prison cell, was the OG. Ain't no real OGs. They're not going through no real issues or proving or standards or certification. There's no ambassador of the streets. There's no senate of the streets yet that's saying this is what's going to happen here and this is what needs to be done. And these are the consequences. They don't have to be death. You know what I mean? It's just consequences. If individuals saw consequences, then they wouldn't be so reckless in their actions.
What was your thoughts when you saw Alpo get shot?
So, unlike a lot of these YouTube clowns that's talking about they know Alpo and all that other stuff, Alpo's the only person that could say he got a crazy bag off of me and he wasn't one of my homies, right? Off a dice game. And
so you played dice with him, you know Alpo.
He ass betted me, right? And he got a super bag off of me, all my re-up money.
Oh, wow.
Right? And he ass betted me, and he won, right? And, you know, I'm going to say it for as long as I live. Anytime you mention Alpo, anything to do with toughness, putting in work, shout out to Randy Love. That's who I shout out. Because it's not really about the person, it's the muscle around the person. Mm-hmm. And we had a couple confrontations. You know, y'all want the details, y'all can read it in the book. You know what I mean? But from where I'm from, Harlem, and the Bronx, I don't care what nobody say, put my street credibility up to par. Alpo was a street messiah. He was the boss of flossing. A lot of us wanted to be like him. He stole my haircut. Anybody that know from the time will tell him he stole my haircut. There's an argument that we used to go back and forth. A lot of people used to mistake me for him out of town. They tried to gun me down in DC because of him. And that's my affiliation. He's not my friend. He's not my buddy. We never hung out. Rest in peace to Rich Porter. That was the boss that was getting the money. Alpo, I'll put it on the record, wasn't making no millions of dollars. Everybody got it mistaken. I'm telling you, he wasn't getting millions of dollars. What he did good was he taught us how to front. He was my idol and mentor in fronting. So my crew of 33, it was 33 of us. I borrowed your car today, her car the next day, his car the next day, and I drove to see different chicks everywhere. And the biggest mistake Alpo did in leading guys like me is we ain't hustle for money.
Thanks. So just for the image, just for
all
the fame.
For the image. Much. All image maintenance. I mean, we had houses, we had cars, we had money. I mean, Blocks was getting real money. And but I never really paid attention to every dollar and cent. Like my other homies and business partners, some of them was in it for the money. They wasn't in it for the image. But Alpo was the greatest in that era from 1983 to 90, whatever. He was the greatest at flossing for people my age, my era, throughout the Harlem, Bronx, parts of Brooklyn. Because anywhere the bad bros is, that's how you end up in these other boroughs and whatever. And I know that he cannot live with himself not getting the light.
So that's why he came out of witness protection?
Can't be yourself.
Wow.
And that's why they tell you, like a rat dies 1,000 deaths, because you can't be yourself. You in another you left jail, right? And then you come home, you gonna get praised by dudes, because dudes really don't care about ratting like that. So you got praised by dudes. That validation every day, that's a drug. Is that what you think Instagram is? How many likes I got? How many comments? Do they like me? Validation. So if you know deep in your heart, the thorough dudes is dead, thorough dudes is in prison, and then you got the suckers who's got crazy rich and setting the tone for a whole generations of suckers that say stuff like, well, he got money though. You know, stuff like that. That justifies any action. Any action. You know what I mean? You could be a fruit pop getting dick in the butt and talk about you the super thug and all that, but it's okay, you get money. You know what I mean? It's like, I can do anything, I get money. Rape your sister, oh, you getting money though. You know, these dudes is backwards. So for him, in my opinion, he couldn't survive being normal. And hiding. So you come around and you get into an altercation over a woman, And the young dude, like, I got, like, no lie, maybe 14 phone calls, man. I mean, 10 minutes after it happened. Everybody. And I'm telling dudes, put all my credibility on the line. I tell dudes, it's okay to mourn, bro. It's okay to mourn him. Because he had an impact on your life. When he came home, if you fraternized with him, if you was giving him money, if you was hanging out with him, then you're not in really conflict. You're telling the whole world that you condone what he did. But just because somebody do something you don't like, don't mean you don't love them anymore. It just changes the circumstances.
You just don't mess with them?
When you love a female that broke your heart, you never stop loving her. You just love her from a distance. Same thing.
What's your thoughts on people saying that he's pretty much a mass murderer?
I pass on that.
Okay.
He ain't gonna jam me up.
Yeah, because they say he killed about, what, 6 people?
I pass on that.
All right. Well, before I even get into the Jay-Z topic, we were talking about the Casanova situation a while back, and it seems like it's getting worse now for him. What's your thoughts on everything that's going on for him right now?
I ain't predict all this.
You kind of did,
Did I predict all? Yeah,
but I don't think you said you. No, I think you said he was going to stand 10 toes down. So I guess you did predict it. Yeah, because people are wondering if he was going to snitch.
Well, they trying to say he already did, but that's what they say about everybody, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that's just the FBI trying to play tricks, games.
Not only that, like, I went through that in my own situation. Like, when you got money and you got different kind of lawyers that know how to talk different, have different relationships, it's like, just like you succeed in business off of relationships, you get out of jail just off of relationships. Mm-hmm. Is your money up enough to pay those type of lawyers? Mm-hmm. So when I was paying those type of lawyers, what else they gonna say? You gotta put the worst label on me. You can't say I'm jealous of the dude. So I like I said, Casanova might end up spending the rest of his life just trying to be down and rep something that ain't really real.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is they're trying to, because I guess they're trying to use his rap lyrics and then interviews where he said, I'm the head honcho.
Yeah, but he won't be the first guy to get convicted off of rap lyrics. I know somebody that got 6 life sentences. Wow. Nobody. They can't find nobody nowhere. But just off his lyrics alone and being the head of his set, that was it. So when it comes to Casanova and that situation, what these street kids need to know, it's not even street kids, it's just like everybody needs to know that the FBI is a business. That those prisons is owned by billionaires and they need people in them prisons to make products and to fill them cages. And they literally running through the neighborhood with a big net and these dummies is just saying, come get me, right? And you hanging around certain people for clout, it tarnishes who you are. It might elevate your status, your likes, your comments, your followers. However, at the end of the day, what are you going to say when you on the stand and they say, did you know that this person engaged in criminal activities? And you're like, no, you're lying.
Well,
so the way conspiracy works is through a simple conversation. Like, oh, I heard so-and-so had certain bodies, and you comment on that, and the feds go, well, you said, so we can link you to these activities from 40 years ago. People don't understand that. Statute of limitations don't die on certain things, right? And just a quick highlight about the law. Say it was an ongoing enterprise. Your grandfather was getting money on this block. Your father was getting money on this block. Now you start getting money on the block. Under the statute of the federal law, they can charge you for what your grandfather was doing as a continuing criminal enterprise. So if your grandfather is responsible for 12 bodies on that block, you repping that block, and they can show throughout the years, you was coming up 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 on that same block, you're going away for life for a continuing criminal enterprise, part of the RICO Act.
The FBI is dirty in general. They like to play mind games where they'll play videos of people, your homeboys talking shit about you in the phone. And
They do it to Malcolm. They did it to Martin. They did it to everybody.
even if your girl is talking to another guy cheating on you, see, look what your baby girl's doing. Look what your wife is doing.
And these dudes is not ready for that.
Yeah, that hits
That's
them,
why.
and that's when they break.
That's when they break.
Yeah, so
That's when they break.
it's crazy. This all started. My girlfriend was telling me this all started because of his wife or girlfriend, homegirl.
It's always over a girl at the end of the day, man.
It's crazy. I guess she had her own case, and then in order to get herself out of that hole, she had to get some information on Casanova.
It's all one big, like I said, there's no ambassador of the streets. There's no one saying this is how you move correctly. You know the thing, and I always say this, right? A lot of Italians that were the mafia, they were punks, right? But what they did really, really well was
Structure.
organized crime. In the black community, we have disorganized crime because we always looking at other cultures of how we should conduct ourselves without having the foundation to a motherland or another land that gave us the culture from there. So when they get here, it's so disorganized, but with them, it was organized. So try to buy a piece of sheetrock today, and an Italian is not getting paid off of it.
Oh yeah.
Nearly impossible. Try to lay some concrete somewhere. Try to put a window anywhere, an Italian is not getting paid. Glass, anything dealing with glass, people don't know this. You know how much glass is used?
Yeah.
These lights, this cameras, this building, this your car, they getting paid. Bottles you drink from, they getting paid. Organized. So when you look at these young guys out here, there's no organization whatsoever. And am I saying I'm not promoting crime, but it's gonna be here forever. Why? Because the super wealthy, rich white men demonstrate that I am going to commit crime, and it trickles its way down. People are hungry. Anywhere there's poverty, there's gonna be people looking for a shortcut. So with Casanova, God bless him. My prediction is he'll be home in 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, that's my prediction.
How long he been in already? Like he been in for like 2 years now?
Probably, a little less probably. But my prediction is Casanova will be home in 2 years.
The FBI likes to make an example too.
And I'll go a step further. He's gonna be super religious.
You think so?
Remember I told you that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Remember I told you that.
Speaking of Casanova situation, Jay-Z and all the rappers are trying to get a bill passed. You heard about that?
Beautiful. Beautiful move on the part of Jay-Z. And just a reminder, shout out to Hov. Just a reminder, you know Jay-Z owned a part of the Nets?
Yeah, I do that.
You know that they built a whole stadium because Jay-Z said he could get the Nets to come to Brooklyn?
No, I didn't know that.
Most
I didn't
people-
know it was because of Jay-Z.
Everybody forget that. You know he's in the NFL, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know he might be the very first black face that owns an NFL team.
Well, that's the goal.
I don't think
Supposedly,
that's the goal, but
supposedly he
sounds
was
good.
supposed to get it a couple years back, but they didn't allow him or something like that. Something
Right.
happens. Yeah.
So now Casanova is jammed up. He has affiliations and relationships with people that's associated with Rock Nation. Jay-Z has the billions to attract and have the relationship with those that the law is made to protect. Jay-Z knows Casanova's trial is getting ready to come up. He's getting ready to get jammed up over his lyrics. Jay-Z and everybody gets involved where if they don't change the law, they get the ability to impact and affect the jury, right? So now, if this does pass, which it won't, unless they pull some really good strings, because time for a bill to get passed into a law is not an instantaneous thing. It takes some time, right? So if Casanova has the ability, and this is not all about Casanova, but I'm showing you the parallels of it, right? Yo, if we get involved politically and keep making noise about rap lyrics not being able to be used in a trial, they don't got no case against Casanova,
That's pretty much the case. But
right?
knowing
And-
the FBI, they probably have some other stuff too, though.
Yeah,
I
so
heard his
what?
text messages and stuff.
So what? It's not. I make sure I'm not advocating crime. It's not. That's why I used to teach everybody that worked for me. You're gonna catch a case. It's not if you catch cases, it's how you catch the case. I got a key of coke in my hand. They say, freeze, don't move. They getting out the car, all the FBI, break it open, hypothetically. And I start stomping it out. That whole key just got reduced to a quarter of a key. Because they not scraping that all up off the floor.
That's your sentence too, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just reduced my sentence, conviction, the severity, my bail price, everything just changed because I just did one act in a matter of seconds and destroying evidence, right? So he may not get scot-free. It's extremely hard from the feds to walk away scot-free, right? Anybody do less than 10 at one time was super suspicious. Now the feds just need to fill the cells. We got a conviction. We convicted Casanova. Time in, severity of the case, the major charges get thrown out. The evidence gets suppressed because Jay-Z and them, or they get a jury. They get a jury from Brooklyn. Because here's the number one thing. Black people can't go to prison if black people stop saying they're guilty. If black people sat on juries, right? There's no convictions without juries unless you plead guilty. Another thing, like I said before, if everybody, which is not going to happen because our gangs is not organized enough, but if the OGs from the set said anybody that cop out, that take a plea, we gonna murder you. Everybody's going to trial. They are forced to release people. They cannot, no state, nowhere can hold all them cases. It's 10,000 cases.
They pick and choose. They're gonna have to pick and choose.
If everybody goes to trial, they don't have the money, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the time, they don't have the research, they don't have it on a state level. Everybody go to trial. So the system will fall apart. And then if they do go to trial and black people started saying, when I sit on a jury with other black people, I'm gonna take a closer look at what's really being said. If one person on the jury says, I'm not convicting him. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. My vote is no. That's a hung jury. When you have a hung jury, that means the DA has to start all over. So that $40,000 they spent on you to take you to trial, they gotta spend another 40. His boss says, not on what? What's the case? What's the charge? Who died? Nobody? No, we're not doing that. Tell them to cop out to this.
Let's make a plea deal.
Let's make a deal. First, they was offering you 25, now they offering you 3 years, right? Or they'll come back and they'll say, case dismissed. We're not taking this back to trial. Because if they do take it back to trial, and another black jury or 2 or 3 of them said, no, it's not enough evidence. That's all they gotta say. They ain't gotta say, I think he's innocent, I think he's guilty, and just follow the rules. Instead of sleeping through the whole trial, not saying, what y'all think? I think you're guilty. How many for guilty? 9. What about you 3? Well, we don't know. We want to go, man, I've been sitting in this jury thing. I want to go home. I've been here for weeks. And this, that, and I don't care. He's black. If people start that energy, criminal justice system changes. But you're going to start seeing, like, really, really, really rich white people, they leave the country, man. They leave the country. So you're going to start seeing a lot of blacks getting appointed because they don't want Latinos in. Why? Because Latinos is going to take over the entire country in a minute. Trust me, you're going to have to be forced to learn Latin
Spanish,
in another 25 years. Because this used to be Mexico. Right here, where we at right now. It used to be Mexico. And they forget to tell the people that. People don't realize that. So now, what happened in the beginning, happened in the end is going to go back to the way it was in the beginning. So these blacks are going to trickle down into all these political positions, all these courts, all these different occupations of so-called power, and you're going to see a change. And they're going to go back to getting poor whites, because there was a time our prison systems all throughout America was filled with Irish, the first niggas, the Irish. It's not until they became coppers started putting copper badges and became police officers and made everybody in their family join the police force.
The first gang?
So, maybe.
Or was it a KKK?
Nah, that was a joke. Those was jokers. That was fueled by wealthy landowners that the Constitution was made for.
Gotcha. Well, look at Russell Simmons. He went out of the country.
I have a personal connection to Russell Simmons. And all I'll say on record is Russell was never charged with anything.
He wasn't.
Everybody else in that Me Too was charged. Anytime you're rich and powerful, you are going to
Be a target.
A target. And, you know, I'm very close with somebody that had a major input to the whole Russell Simmons thing kind of going away, and George Floyd's death just put the nail in the coffin because everybody focused on George Floyd and forgot about Russell. And I'm going to say this directly in the camera. All Russell Simmons was supposed to say was, my name is Russell Simmons. I made all my money from the entertainment business. The entertainment means sex, drugs, wild times, and wild movies. Yes, I participated in sex. Yes, I participated in a lot of drugs. Yes, I participated in wild times. But I never intentionally took someone's, raped anyone, right? Or took advantage of anyone. Because I'm positive 99.9%. Russell Simmons at the time when they was talking about Russell, I know personally, you should be talking like this because he was so coked up. And everybody around was sniffing, partying, and having a good time. And women back then was, you're not coming in this room. Same thing with the R. Kelly thing I talked about. You're not coming in this room unless you're having sex.
Bill Cosby too?
Cosby a little different. Cosby's like the king of roofing chicks, but
Wasn't that a thing back in the day though?
that was a thing.
Then you level out with some coke.
Spanish fly, get them high, get them loose them out with the coke, slow them down with some weed, and sex everybody everywhere unprotected. That was the thing. Was it right? Not in today's standard, but as we know with politics, social morality, marijuana was the devil years ago, right? Government make a lot of money off of
CBD.
They want everybody high. Because then everybody go get vaccinated. Be high, be slow. Go get a vaccination. What's in the vaccination? We don't know. You can't get sick if you get vaccinated, but you got sick. Well, you double protected. But now you need a booster shot. Why? Because the people who own Big Pharma run the world.
They need to get paid.
Oh, they caking. They hustling. Right now, masks, gloves, everybody keep underestimating. Oh, if everybody in 6.5 billion people wore a mask.
That's money.
What? Every day. How many masks y'all done went through since the pandemic started?
A lot. I had to get a pack of new masks for myself for
So
school.
let's say each of us, let's credit each of us with 3 boxes of masks. Just masks. Come on, man. They hustling. They are hustling. And it is what it is.
I heard Charleston White say that he don't agree with Jay-Z trying to pass the bill. He was like, why? He pretty much saying that's promoting crime. Like, if you're doing criminal activities and you're dumb enough to put it on songs, you need to go away.
Right. Another dumb nigga talking.
You don't like him?
I don't know him not to like him. I don't have to not like him because not say what he, not agree with what he said.
He said another.
If he was in the room and said something like that, I'll say, you know me. I'll be like, excuse me, sir. You sound like a dumb nigga. Shut up. Because, everybody with a mic is not an authority. That's what they teach you in media training, that you come off as authoritative. You have a mic. After all, there's lights and there's a camera. You must be important. And you sound articulate. You must be educated. So you must be part of the 1%. You're not. That sounds real stupid. Because one thing I always be concerned about black people, I really would like to sit down and study this, is that all is well when our lyrics and songs promote our death. But the minute we demonstrate some consciousness some accountability, demonstrate some responsibility in our actions and our culture, oh, that's absurd. Why should we do that? I don't understand how the whole entire world gets shook up when we want to implement some morality. When you learn how to stop being savages from us, then we start acting like savages to get the money because that's how you got the money from being savages. Now we come back and say, no, we don't condone the savagery. And all of a sudden, oh no, if you do this, you should just go away. Shut up. You sound stupid.
I will say I've been listening to him a little bit. He don't promote hip hop. He think hip hop is the destruction of our people.
It's a fact.
So
I said, I'm a hip hop head. I might have a hip hop record out next week. Right? Because if everybody can make trash, why don't I jump on the trash line? Right? So, but it's an actual fact. It is the only music that was controlled by Jewish people that was allowed to destroy black people, and they got rewarded for it. Right? Mm-hmm. It's the only music that people actively said, no more conscious lyrics. We're not funding conscious lyrics. We're not rewarding conscious lyrics. We're not even rewarding happy sounds, right? Like in my era, you had songs like Humpty Hump, do the Humpty Hump, right?
You get those here and there, but it's not really promoted. They won't back it like that.
And if you do, you get a comedian who makes a song.
Yeah, there you go.
That's derogatory though.
Yeah.
Smile, bitch.
Yeah.
Smile, bitch. Shout out to Duval. Yeah. So it's crazy how these controllers of the culture, right, who are not black people, try to tell black people. And then they influence these talking heads and saying, yo, no, they shouldn't do this or they shouldn't do that. Of course, hip hop is the most degrading music ever in history. And we love it. And we're going to keep loving it because we programmed. It's going to continuously be a bunch of professional black women at a Too Short private concert saying, bitch, bitch, and go home and be Dr. So-and-so. That's just how it is.
He said he wouldn't have his daughter listening to that.
For now, till she getting a black bone out in a few years and he ain't gonna have nothing to say about it. He ain't gonna have nothing, no say-so.
None of his kids listens to Jay-Z and
unfortunately, they're gonna break out
in his household.
And they're gonna leave his house and wild out.
That's how it usually goes?
That's how it usually goes. Put the stuff in front of the kid see it so much, it don't even faze it. Hide it completely from the kid becomes curious and then rebellious.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree with some of the stuff you're saying, like how he rather, like, these rappers are not idols. He rather them focus on other people that are actually making change in the community and doing other things.
That would be so nice in a perfect world without niggas. But since we live in a world where niggas have an impact, where a nigga could get on YouTube and talk some nigga shit and be rich for the rest of his life, and his kids could get some new freedom because they got some new money, unfortunately, they're gonna be idols, and they are idols, and they do dictate to our youth. And if you want to turn to the grumpy old man that ain't getting no pussy at home and just want to blast everybody because the world is not seeing it your way, you can continue to do that. Bunch of white people gonna send you a check for it.
Can you agree with this though, that rap music, like as we were younger, me personally, I idolized some of these rappers, and then I find out as I get older, it's like me. I used to love Raw and SmackDown wrestling. Then I found out it was fake, and I'm like, what?
You're devastated.
Yeah, I was devastated, and now the same thing with me in the rap game. Like these rappers ain't rapping this is not real. This is.
Wait till you start seeing a political game.
So that's what I'm saying.
Wait till you delve into the medical game of America.
So
wait till you start seeing who the World Health Organization is, who the IMF is, I'm talking too much.
Can you agree with him with him talking about that? Like how that's devastating too. Like all this stuff is fake and not he pretty much said it's the death of our.
But who doesn't know that?
True. Well, actually, let me start that. The young generation, young kids that are following that, they believe it. They believe it fully.
I don't think they fully believe it. I think they're committed to be passionate about the culture. But do they really believe a little Yachty's out busting his gun and not playing no games?
Maybe not Lil Yachty, but
Nah.
sir.
Do they
sir.
believe that? So let me put this on the record as an ex so-called gangster. You ain't really gangster when you put your hands up when they say freeze. If you a gangster, when the police say freeze, why your guns don't go off on them? So let's stop playing these games. You a tough guy, I understand that. You committed to the life, totally understand that. Because most of us were suicidal anyway. We went from being suicidal to homicidal. Committed ourselves to something because we had nothing, right? Gang culture only thrives because of the lack of family.
So there's no gangsters period though, because why didn't it retaliate against George Floyd or any other killers?
Anybody else?
Yeah, anybody
What's
that
this
died.
dude?
So,
Trayvon Martin?
Trayvon Martin.
What's the dude name?
George Zimmerman.
He's just walking around.
So there's no
Y'all
gangsters.
bust your gun every day at clouds, speakers, crackheads, old cars,
Our own people.
own people with no problem. So let's stop. Let's stop.
So there's no such thing as gangsters no more.
Hell yeah. Motherfuckers that got y'all vaccinating and wearing a mask. Oh, it's gangster.
I'm talking about the term gangsters, like the rapper gangsters. And
The term gangster means an individual who is part of a gang who conducts criminal activities.
okay, you got me on that one.
House of Representatives, Congress, the Senate. You know they about to pop off in the Ukraine and Russia, right?
Yeah, Joe Biden was about to.
Gangsters. Donald Trump, my man, said, go to the Capitol. You can't get more gangster than running up in the Capitol. It's the way we look at things. We have to stop looking at things where we're being fed and have a more critical eye. That's the biggest gangster move you can do. I lost. No, I didn't. I'm not leaving. Who ever heard of this thing? Right?
Well, I was just talking to George about this, the Donald Trump and Joe Biden thing, and a lot of celebrities are mad that Joe Biden and Mrs. Harris is not picking up their phone calls now, and they promoted them to get into office.
So this has been happening from the beginning of politics. You elect me, I'm in, I don't need you anymore. Unless you funded my campaign.
Now I gotta take care of you because
That's what billionaires do.
money,
They put
yeah.
people in office. Now, I'm sure Biden is picking up his phone when he can stay awake for billionaires. But celebrities, who are they? They're not even educated. They don't count. They still pay taxes. You stupid enough to pay taxes in America after you over $200,000? You don't even count.
Yeah, and you got people saying I'd rather have Trump in office because at least I knew where we stand. At least he was being real about it. While you got the Democrat Party all like hiding and secretive and stuff like that.
Yeah, why don't we just implement mutual parties? Like a bunch of mutual parties.
I think an independent might be good.
I got it. Got the answer.
Who's the independent? I think Kanye was trying to run for independent.
Yeah, but no one is really trying to create a whole political party.
I think it only happened once in the history.
No,
before,
there's a bunch of them.
It happened? Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of independent parties. But mine will be called the Utopia Party. Everyone is welcome.
Utopia?
Utopia. But I gotta make $1 billion first. So please pick up all Zach Tate products.
All right, let's sidetrack to football.
Football.
Antonio Brown.
I was just in the shout out to the Chelsea House restaurant in New York. We was just in there with him a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And it's just unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Uneducated niggas make money and do dumb shit.
So do you agree with people saying that was wrong with what he did, how he handled it?
Of course. Completely lack of professionalism. You take a stance. There's a way to take a stance in a more professional way. You didn't have to do that.
Because he keeps saying stuff like, that's just how I handle things. That's how.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Don't make him stupid. It makes his decision stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Part of us growing and evolving and being better people and being who we are is that, well, some of us have the ability to look back and say, man, you was a real jackass when you made that move. It's called introspection. That's how you grow. especially through conflicts. It's not that things are happening to you, they're happening for you. But when you make bad decisions, right? Here's the problem with ignorance and what I call nigga shit. Here's the problem with it. Your very best thinking puts you in the very worst situations. And you got 10 co-signers around you because they eat off of you. So now you want to pursue a rap career? No. Now my man Odell Beckham Jr., I love him. You rebel because you put your foot in the sand and said, this is what I want. I know my value, right? This is how I rebel. Guess who's going to the Super Bowl and going to end up with a ring?
Odell. I don't know if they'll end up with a ring, though.
Watch.
The Bengals are
Watch.
All right. I'm just telling you, no. They might win.
Watch.
They should win, but the Bengals, for some reason...
Watch. And when he has his ring on, he has the ultimate ability to go like this.
To everybody.
Especially
Cleveland Browns team.
My ground. I had a standard. I didn't allow you to violate my standard. Now, this young man you talking about, you know, it's obvious that he wants to pursue a rap career, has the wrong people around him. I will gladly be able to give him some guidance that he needs to understand that, you know, you might be messing up a few $100 million, bro. I
mean, all he had to do was last a couple of days with the Raiders, and he would have got a $1 million check, and he does what he does, his stunt. And
right.
He lost that.
Right. Survivor's remorse. He's probably crashing down. We've seen it with Ocho Cinco. We've seen it with Terrell Owens. We've seen it with what's this other guy? Pac-Man Jones. We've seen it with Lynch, Marshawn. We've seen it with these different guys where the pressure of being in that light, it is better to just remove yourself from the pressure. So if you got a real OGs around you, that's gonna say no. You signed up for the pressure. That pressure is gonna shape you. The more pressure diamonds receive is the more brilliant that diamond comes out. Welcome to your pressure so you can shine. You can't tell me no super athlete. Name him and I'm gonna tell you the scandal, the thing he overcame, the pressure, how he lost his best friend to death or whatever. This is part of it. It's the toll you pay. But unfortunately, there's not enough people guiding these young guys to say, nah, that's how you, yo, bro, you don't mess up $1 million bag. You know, it's like the conversation we always have, how rappers go to jail for gun charges. How is it your whole crew, nobody told you, do not quit right now. You're about to get $1 million check. But in your foolishness, you decide, nah, it ain't about the money. It's always about the money. That's why you beat out millions of young men.
That's what Antonio Brown said.
In the NFL.
It's not about the money.
Yeah, of course you got to justify buffoonery.
It's bigger than football, he said.
You know that we could rationalize serial killers, right? You know we rationalize serial killers?
Yeah.
How? Give me a classic modern example of how we rationalize serial killers. Let me help you. Kid walks into a school. He shoots and kills a bunch of kids.
Mental problems.
Right? No, he's evil. He's fucking, yo.
No, but I'm giving you an example.
That's how we rationalize it.
That's the example I'm giving you.
Yeah, it's a mental issues. We rationalize mass murder.
Clearly something wrong with him. That's what they're going to say.
That's what they're going to say if he's white.
Yeah.
Right? They can't say he's just evil. They can't say the devil controls him. That's too real. They can't say like the kid been evil his whole life. We seen this coming, but we never did nothing about it. We rationalize it.
That's what they say about the Parkland shooter. I kind of seen something like that. Yeah. He seemed like the type of
right. We rationalize something like taking several people's lives for no reason, not in an act of war or nothing. So why wouldn't we be able to rationalize blowing $1 million? Why can't we rationalize a basketball player that just fails to use condoms and he just keeps making baby after baby after baby? And it's okay. Or, I'm not even gonna mention my man's name, but every 4 months you got a new kid, and since you rich, it's okay.
Nick Cannon?
I never said it. But we rationalize the actions. Right? So why wouldn't we rationalize ignorance? That's what hip hop promotes. That's what our video game culture promotes. So you look at the average guy that's 30 plus. How old is this kid? AB.
Almost, I think 30?
Okay, let's give him 31.
32?
Let's give him 31, 32. He directly grew up with the influence of video games that promote ignorance, music that promotes ignorance, coming outside his door to his neighborhood, which is his culture, that promotes ignorance. All he knows is ignorance. So when he has the ability to step out into the realm of professionalism, the NFL isn't saying, this is the dress code, this is the structure, this is how you conduct yourself.
He's 33 years old.
33 years old, right? So the NFL isn't the type of business that's saying, this is the strict dress code, this is the code of conduct, this is the way you have, or you're out. You know how many dudes in the NFL blew their career because they can't stop smoking weed? Ridiculous.
They had them people still do it. They found a way around it, but now
ridiculous.
They're lenient about it, yeah.
Hey, we're in a bubble. No one is allowed to bring in anybody outside. Dudes bringing in girls so they can have sex.
Speaking of that, Antonio Brown brought a girl who got famous for leaking a toilet.
See what I'm saying?
And she had COVID. And she posted
ignorance.
it. Yeah, she posted it. And
My
he was
point
around
exactly.
the whole team with the COVID.
Hey.
I don't know if because he never came out saying he
ignorance.
had COVID. But
somewhere along the line, no one explained to you that every player that you have is an asset, is a product, right? They're providing a product and a service. They are entertaining the masses of America and keeping us distracted from what's really going on. That's what sports is here for. Sports is here for you to tune in and watch every week so you can be distracted of how they taking money out your pocket, reducing your health care, and making your life insubstantial. That's what these guys are made for. So if I step into a room and I say we are all multimillionaires, we are all here to do a job. Just like you show up to work. If you go to Walmart bugging out, you're gonna get fired.
Yeah. But
so Walmart got better management than the NFL? That's not by accident.
No.
That's not by accident. So we rationalize the buffoonery. Individuals like him, this is where we need more OGs. We need individuals to be able to come to us, humble themselves, but we ain't got no money. So we ain't got no credibility. Because money, you got some money though. You go back to that.
Okay, before we get off the NFL topic, Brian Flores, ex-Dolphin player, ex-Dolphin coach, files a lawsuit against the NFL for racist hiring.
Mm-hmm.
And Dolphin owner allegedly tried to pay him money to tank games, and Brian didn't do it.
Yeah, sounds stupid.
You'd have took it?
No, I don't even believe that allegation.
Oh, okay.
I actually believe, which I have no knowledge in depth about it, and the only relevancy it has to this podcast is that the message I want to send to all your viewers is be mindful of what's controlling your mind. Be mindful of what is controlling your mind. If the racism is so prevalent as you claiming in your suit, why didn't you beef about this before?
Money.
Where was you when Kaepernick was putting his knee on the ground? Where was you?
He was getting paid.
Now it's not working to your favor. You want to pull a race card.
He's trying to be a leader, and
Too late.
Hopefully people go
Wrong leading. What are you leading us to? That the bag didn't fall your way, so you want to claim victim, highlighted on the NFL, when other dudes is trying to make crazy major moves for ownership. So we can rectify all this, right? Here you go over this bag that you crying about, that if it was really this much of a problem, why you never spoke out before? Where's your credibility at? Because all you looking like is a crybaby. That's what you looking like. And you using the race card. Why? Because a bunch of ignorant black folks is just going to go, that's right. That's right. Get them. Come on, bro. You went into negotiations. Part of the NFL policy is that minority coaches must be interviewed for positions. That's part of their policy now.
Now, yeah. Then you get draft picks or something like that if you do the interview at least.
Right. Do the interview. So now You went through all these stages. Individuals wasn't feeling you. You didn't never like this dude. Now you making allegations about him. And
you forgot one thing.
What's that?
Bill Belichick texted him, the Patriots head coach, and congratulated Brian for the New York Jets job. I think it's the New York Jets or Giants job. And the Brian Flores guy was like, "Are you sure you're not talking about the other Brian? I haven't even done an interview yet with this job."
Right.
So that's why he's suing that team, because
Right.
I haven't even talked to them and they already picked the guy already. Like,
Right. Right. It's been going on. This is my point.
They're just talking to you for the draft picks. They
That's
just do an
it.
interview.
That's all they doing. So wait a minute. You understand nepotism? You know what that is?
No, go ahead, Tim.
So nepotism is like, I'm the father, I got 7 sons. You're a better worker than all my 7 sons, but I gotta promote somebody. Who's gonna get the job?
The one you like the most.
My son, the one that's gonna keep the money in the family.
Yeah.
Right? NFL, people don't realize, is a handful of people. It's called a cartel. That's what it is. Right? It's a group of individuals that decide how this industry is performed and operated. That is a cartel. They decide who's going to be owners. They decide the lineage, right? You have to be from certain families or endorsed by that family, approved by these group of families to get in, right? So, of course we're going to give you the interview. Everybody does that. Most people got their jobs off the people they know. That's how they got in. Oh, my homegirl, my homeboy, I got the hookup. That's how they got in. So now, did they interview a bunch of other people? They have to. Because it would set a trend that we just call in who we want. That's the difference of what I keep saying of what we are fed and what those who do some reading and research get to really see how things are going. Be mindful of who is controlling your mind. Yeah, he congratulated you. Of course he knew. He's a top dog in the NFL. Yo, good luck on. You're not getting the job. That's what he told him.
Well,
with the text.
He wrote the wrong Brian because he apologized. Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote the wrong Brian.
Sure?
Yeah, there's 2 Brians. The one that actually got the job.
You sure that's not the cleanup?
Maybe, I don't know.
Right? I'm sending the wrong text to the wrong Brian? Possible. Okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, we have to be mindful that the race car could be pulled the opposite direction. Is it going to work? No. You know why it's not going to work? Because he messing up other black people's bags. The majority, individuals like Jay-Z that's trying to get that ownership don't need that light right now.
So you think he should have tabled it, wait till Jay-Z or somebody gets into
I think he
power?
should have stopped being a coward and stepped up from the beginning. He saw the racism his first year in.
A lot of other black coaches are not head coaches, but working for the head coaches are not going to step up either because they're afraid of losing their bag.
Slavery is real. Slavery is real. NFL. Niggas for life.
Charleston White said Kaepernick was a distraction, and he was saying that what happened to the boycott back then? Nobody boycotted the NFL, and now you guys are talking about all this now, all this racism and all this
And I'm going to say the same thing I told you years ago. How you got a bunch of black billionaires and they don't start their own league is amazing to me. If y'all need the answers on how to start your own league, please come see me, sign my contracts. I will consult you and show you how to have the NFL begging you to please let them play. It's just history, bro.
Or even let them create their own team. Just one, like if you don't want to sell them a team, let them create their own team.
Why do we need to be a part of the NFL?
We don't, but for some reason people feel validated once you put NFL.
Big 3. Ice Cube came out and said, I don't need to negotiate with y'all.
No D League. I don't need the D League. I don't need the NBA. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Do my own thing and bring the ex-NBA players, the stars that you want to pay for. Yeah. I'm gonna let them play.
I hope he turns that into something where the young boys can come into that league now.
They got high school league now.
Oh, they do now?
Yeah, they got a whole high school league. Okay. Where you been, man? Come on.
I've been watching the Big 3.
I need y'all to read.
I haven't been watching.
No, not the Big 3. It's a whole separate league.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ice Cube opened that up.
There's a guy called Overtime. He started big.
Yeah,
right?
What are you talking about?
So all these dudes get involved. They create a high school league where you're guaranteed 6 figures while you're a high school student. So now, one of my idols, can't wait to meet him, the ball father, Lorenzo.
LeVar Ball.
LeVar?
Yeah.
LeVar Ball. Predicted all this. This is how my son's gonna go in.
Yeah, people are trying to skip the process of college now because they're like, I'd rather get my kid get paid, and then they usually come out better in the European league or whatever they
This
go to.
new league is paying them and filtering them out. And when you get to the pros or a college, they're saying, no, these are my terms now. Because I'm already grossing this off of YouTube, off of Instagram, off of Facebook, and off of tickets, and my merch. All my merch.
Yeah, the school been killing all the kids with all that.
I'm getting a killing. I'm making a killing off of this. And I'm going direct to consumer right off my phone. I don't need y'all. So we can't do that with an NFL? You serious? We can't find places for big black men to play with balls and people come out and watch them? Come on, man.
Big black men playing with
balls. Come on, man. We can't do that? From our home, we don't even need nobody to go in the stands. COVID showed us that. We don't even need anybody to come to a stadium, and people will still pay money for it. Are you serious? And y'all still begging the NFL? The only reason the NFL is integrated is because blacks had their own NFL, Negro Football League. And they was making so much money and getting so much attention, and their players was far better than the white players. So you know what the NFL of today said? Let's get rid of that league. Let's pull them over here. Same thing in baseball. We had a Negro League in baseball. All the attention, everybody. Come on, man. We direct descendants of God. You think dudes could just float through the air? Why isn't it that we have not seen? This has nothing to do with racism. This has to do with deduction. Why is it in 33 years we have not seen one white male who plays with balls his whole life leave half court with the ball cocked back and bang it? Not one? Not one. But I can find a whole league of individuals going through their year doing acrobatics and then slamming the ball. We are direct descendants from God. Anything we do when we are left alone, people are going to want to come out and see.
White people say the same thing about quarterbacks. They think black people are not able to speed read and do certain things like
they have to say something to be able to demonstrate that they not the original niggas. Michael Vick demonstrated to you what a black quarterback can do.
Well, they say there's a limit to Michael Vick. He was great on his feet, but he still wasn't.
Was he scoring touchdowns?
Yeah.
Thank you. Was he leading this team to victory?
Yeah.
Thank you. Was any white boy scrambling, doing plays, and making them plays the way he was?
Yeah, but they said that don't win you championship rings, and he didn't win a championship ring.
Okay,
the main
fine.
goal is to win a championship ring.
Okay. White people are the great thinkers. Yeah. Right. I know. Sure you are. Always remember when you give credit to white people for being the great thinkers, right? Ask yourself this. If it was illegal for us to read, wouldn't you automatically be smarter? If for 500 years you caught me with a book, I was allowed to die. If you was allowed to just wake up and see, hey, let's just kill him. And everybody go, okay. Let's string a nigga up in the middle of the town and kill him. And it was okay. We were considered less than your pets, right? And you was getting all the government money and you was getting educated and schooled. How the hell could a white man be at the end of the highway begging for money when you had a 500-year jump? 500 years, your granddaddy's granddaddy's granddaddy knew how to read and write. Where if I was caught learning how to write a sentence, it was enough to get me killed. Not hurt, not incarcerated, murdered. And they smart? You're supposed to be smart. And then you control the propaganda and the media behind it to say, oh, well, quarterbacks having an excellent IQ. They're much greater. They have the adapt. They have the ability to adapt because they white? No, because you don't give us the chance. You know how many people in the NFL was quarterbacks all through college? Now they play a different position?
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
White people too.
Could that be because we have no black owners?
Lamar Jackson, when he first started in the league, they said he should be a wide receiver. He's not a good quarterback. Now look what he's doing.
I don't know. I don't watch football.
Oh, well, he's killing it. He's doing great things for the Baltimore Ravens.
Is it because we don't have
MVP,
black owners that
everything.
we don't allow black players to be black quarterbacks?
It's just a stigma
Could it
they
be?
put on it, yeah.
Come on, man. Racism is real and it's profitable.
Some of those white people you say you seen in the street begging for money is a scam.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm from New York. I know dudes that drive Benzes that
Yeah,
be
you
dirty.
look like that during the day.
They be dirty on Madison Avenue.
Another side of
Believe me.
town with a Bentley.
I wrote a whole book on it. It's called Johnny Hustle, y'all. Make sure y'all pick up Johnny Hustle.
Johnny
Teach y'all
Hustle.
about the original hustles.
All right, let's skip this and let's go to Kevin Hart.
What y'all doing to my man, Kev?
Not Kevin Hart. Sorry about that. Why I say Kevin Hart? Kanye West.
Mess with my man again.
Kanye West.
Don't nobody play crazier better than Kanye. Genius.
So,
Running for president one day, then y'all want to put him in an insane asylum another day. Smart man. He ain't get assassinated.
yeah, he did it. But him and Kim is all their stuff is in public right now. Like,
Yeah, because he keep posting it.
Yeah,
Who had the #1 album?
I don't know if it was Kanye.
It was.
Oh, okay.
Did you listen to Donda?
Yeah, it was alright.
You understood it?
I understood the purpose of why he put the song out.
When you first put on Donda and you listened to the first tracks, it made sense to you?
It was whatever. I didn't. I had to listen to it again.
No, it wasn't whatever. It was Kanye. Just like a white quarterback. You adjusted your brain to say, this is okay because it's
It's
Kanye.
Kanye.
And what happened? Record sales shot. Yeezy shot. You know, if he add $10 to every pair of Yeezys, people would still pay.
To buy
Right?
them, yeah, probably.
And you know how much that trickles down to his pocket? If he just adds $10 to every pair of Yeezys.
You like
That's a few billion.
You got a pair of Yeezys?
I have 3 pair.
Okay. Because some people feel like you shouldn't be supporting Kanye ever since the whole stuff with the whole Donald Trump and
There's a
everything.
lot of dumb niggas. They don't know. They don't know shit.
All right, so
They
back
go
to
to Facebook University, Instagram, doctorate in Instagram, and this is what they do. And their opinions is loud because they got a lot of followers. And when you go to their page, it says public figure.
I agree with that.
Chicks selling ass on OnlyFans is a public figure too. And so is our vice president,
You think so?
another public figure.
Well, I guess she is a public figure, yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
She don't do shit, but she's a public figure.
So let's get back to Kanye and Kim.
Yes.
Their daughter was using TikTok
my
against
favorite family.
Kanye's will.
Violation.
That's a violation?
Go read a book. Go color. Go do an Essex sketch.
Supposedly TikTok said they have a younger crowd for that
I
generation.
don't care. Certain media, a certain thing as a parent of 3, right? My kids will tell you probably my dad was a tyrant. Now when you talk to them as adults, they be like, man, I'm so glad you was on it like that. Because my third eye is open. So there are other things that can occupy a child than adult behavior. One more time. There are other things that can occupy a child's time than adult behavior. So teenagers mostly started off on TikTok. Now it's everybody. You have your daughter engaging in TikTok. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm saying what's going to be the impact. I don't think Kim or any of them needs to judge the impact because black families raise you to conduct yourself in a certain manner historically so that you can stay employed. You understand that? So you learn certain mannerisms so you can maintain employment. What Kardashian is going to need employment?
None. For generations.
For generations. Hopefully, if they keep doing what they're doing, shout out to Kris Kardashian. If they keep doing what they're doing, So why should she follow rules? Now, as a father, it demonstrates the level of respect. But like we discussed all the time, once you become a Kardashian, she does not become Mrs. West. You become Mr. Kardashian.
Her last name said West, though.
Right. But we know that you actually are the woman. No, I cannot say that. You are the submissive in the relationship when you sign up to be a Kardashian spouse. They target men who they will make docile, or those men will destroy themselves, or they will be destroyed. The father was so twisted, he decided he wanted to be a woman.
And dated a black guy. They all date black men.
So, the daddy was black. They just don't call them black. They call them Arabs. Same color, same continent, same origin. And like I said, I'm always say, I wish one of them would like me so I could get in that family, man. Because you into a institution that never hears the word no. You know how many youth programs I could have going out throughout the nation? You know how many people I could get out of prison if I had a Kardashian next to me?
They try to get Larry Hoover out.
Actually, trying. Because they're doing the thinking. They're not thinkers. They didn't make no money from thinking. These are not intellectuals. These are not even great strategists. These are people that show tits to ass the right way.
She's trying to become a lawyer, Kim.
I don't care. They give away documents online every day for everything. I could go online and get a doctorate. That makes me smart. It's a bunch of dumb lawyers.
No, you can't become a lawyer like that, though. Only in the state of
you
California,
passed the bar.
she had to pass the bar.
The third time.
Yeah, she ain't
How many? What? Don't you think the people who wrote the book on passing the bar is consulting her? You don't hear no, bro. Just think about that.
She still got to pass it, though.
Fine. If I give you all the answers, hey.
I mean, she
And
took
she
it
failed
like
it
3
twice.
times. Yeah, she took
Right.
it like, yeah.
But my question to you is, imagine living a life where you're never told no.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
Just imagine that for all things, anything. Anything material is minor. So the major stuff that really counts, where you affecting whole other countries, you're not told no. She's more famous than the Queen of England. And more respected probably from the young generation. So Kanye's saying, yo, I'm a parent. All he's doing is going through the same problems a bunch of wealthy men are going through, where they trying to have custody of their children, say so of their children, and dealing with a bunch of deadbeat mothers. But it's not cool for us to call women deadbeats. But it's a lot of them. Their own daughters will let you know. My mom was a deadbeat. Kanye's going through it right now. He's going through potent nigga problems right now.
He also posted, yesterday Kim accused me of putting a hit on her. So let's get this straight. I beg to go to my daughter's party, and I'm accused of being on drugs. Then I go to play with my son, and I take my, I guess, I don't know what this is, a graphic novel or something like that. And I'm accused of stealing now. I'm being accused of putting a hit on her. These ideas can actually get someone locked up. They play like that with black men's lives, whether it's getting them free or getting them locked up.
With the
I'm
race
not
card.
playing about my black children anymore.
Yeah. Life of a billionaire that's being told no. It must hurt where you heard yes for so many years, and now you without Kim and you being told no. My man Kanye. Please come see me, Kanye. Pull up, Kanye.
Him and AB been chilling with each other lately a lot.
Who?
Antonio Brown and Kanye been
Yeah,
chilling.
he chilling with everybody. He moving by himself without security. Insane.
I mean, he is mad about Pete Davidson. In his song, he put that he wants to beat Pete Davidson's butt.
Yeah, he's allowed to vent. Nobody likes the guy that takes your girl, man.
Nah. And I heard Pete Davidson half black.
I don't know. I just heard he was hiring security. And I'm still trying to figure out how relevant is this to the culture that it's going to have an impact on how our culture should function.
They usually get a celebrity boxing match and just
I
call
think
it
this podcast should become the authority of the culture.
the authority of the culture. I like that.
I think we should start broadcasting more often so that when the culture is confused about things like this, we can guide them. Just by giving our asshole opinions that people are going to eat up and love.
You might get this feedback too. Oh, he's just an old guy. He's just
Absolutely. They got to say something.
Yeah, he's just hating. He's a hater.
I ain't here to
Old Jesus don't like to let the young guys win.
We're not here to be liked. We're here to be awesome. Don't matter. Everybody got it. Listen, you know the peasants used to throw bread at the king's castles, right?
Yeah.
Then the king's kid,
No,
the bread was old.
they were living their life. They
It was their bread.
Oh, damn.
So you can't sit down worrying about what people saying or the bread they throwing at you. I gave you the bread. Throw it. You got to exercise your frustration. I'm rich. You're not. That's the way things work. I'm smart. You're not. That's the life of celebrities now. Like the Jake Pauls and them type of guys.
They're living their life too.
For now.
I heard Charleston White say he happy that what was it, Jake Paul or what are the Paul brothers knocked out Wilder. He was like, Wilder's the type of nigga, that big cocky nigga in the hood, trying to beat up everybody, and then when he go fight one white boy beat his ass.
No comment. All I can say to Wilder is learn how to box.
Yeah, he think. Charles says like he think one punch is gonna. Just gonna knock everybody out. You see, the white boy know how to box. You know how to box.
This is Charles Barkley.
You know Charleston White.
Oh, Charleston White. Okay.
Yeah.
People.
All right, let me wrap it up with this last question. Topic. Jim Jones did an interview, and he said his mama taught him how to kiss.
I was in the room with him that night that he said that.
So how?
Same night that I was with AB at Chelsea House.
How did that conversation? Well, how did it go? When he said that, did everybody?
He was on lip service with Angelique, whatever.
Yeah.
And he just revealed too much and tried to clean it up. And his mom's had, I guess, some twisted way of demonstrating this is how you kiss. And in black families, we have been exposed to even more worse twisted shit, right? So the people with voices was like, yo, that's disgusting, right? And to me, it's just trauma manifesting, right? We don't heal, we don't talk about healing, we don't talk about trauma. Then he tried to come out later and say, yo, it was a joke, y'all take way too much. No, it wasn't. You said it with too much authority and passion and conviction. You just didn't know that there was a higher moral standard around you. And you thought because you got a couple dollars that your wealth validated your opinion and you could say whatever you want to say, because niggas let you say that every day, all day. But this one slipped out.
You slipped out.
And now you're trying to recover, right?
You fumbled the ball.
And there's so many of us who have seen our parents having sex with multiple people where they both naked right in front of us while you saying, let me get $1, and she bent over getting her back dug out, get it off the dresser. That's way more worse than your mother teaching you how to kiss, right? It's some twisted shit that we see when we victims of poverty. Because the worst form of violence.
He made it seem like she took his tongue and put it in his mouth. And
yeah, whatever it is that she did, right? So this is borderline like pedophilia, right? It's borderline, right? I'm not going to put Mama Jones down as a pedophile, right? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to disrespect that man's mother like that. But I'm going to say that when your mother not Miss Jones, but that was the case. But when your mother suffers from drug addiction, right? I just want the world to wake up that, yes, he said what he said. Yes, it probably went down. But how much more twisted things go on in our culture and our society that as kids we have seen, participated in being witnesses to, that why we don't be making a big deal about that? You understand what I'm saying?
So
you know how many, you know how much, yeah, we be focused on the wrong things, but when you a celebrity, not even a celebrity, I'm gonna say this about Jim Jones, right? And we not friends or nothing like that, but I'm gonna say this, right? Nobody likes the guy that wins. So stop being surprised stop being surprised when the peasants is throwing bread at the kingdom. It's part of being a king. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
And you can't please everybody.
You never gonna please anybody when you broke. How you gonna do it when you worth $1 million? Because $1 million means you have the freedom to go anywhere in the world at any time. And for some of y'all, fly private. So you expect the rest of us, I hate going to work every day. I hate myself sometimes that I even got a job. I'm smarter than the people I work for. But I gotta go for now. So I'm watching your life on Instagram where it looks like you don't have no regular people problems. You don't go through nothing. So now you're under attack because you made yourself vulnerable and wasn't smart enough to curb your mouth because you always get validated by all the dumb shit you say all day. He's not educated people. He's not smart or calculated people. So the nature of your question was my opinion on it. My opinion on it is, yeah, I think it was authentic. I think it was so authentic that it couldn't have been faked. And it was obvious that we know when Jim is joking, when he's not joking, because Jim is suffering from depression. He's always sad.
I mean, they're always attacking him. They're already calling him a snitch. Some people are calling him a snitch.
He's always under attack.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the guy who wins, right? And he don't retreat. He don't retreat. He gonna cry tears. If anybody know who Jim Jones is, Jomo is gonna cry tears. He ain't my friend, I don't know him. I was in prison most of his life. So I'm just telling you that I think it was authentic. I think that there's a lot of things with sexuality. That's what I really want to have a podcast to talk about. In fact, we're gonna do it tonight. What we don't really discuss is how much incest is going on. How many people had their first sexual act with their siblings and don't know how to face their sibling today and say, yo, we was young, we was wild, and that was crazy. White people do it all the time, been doing it all the time. Go upstate New York, that's all they do is incest.
Girls getting raped by their uncles.
Right, stuff like that. So there's more twisted stuff in the community that we could talk about. Yo, my mom's was strung out, she's a little different, my mom's is bugged, but it was my mother. Yeah, she put it, and that was his defense. She's like, yeah, but that's, what? Your mother did what?
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, that's my mother. That's authentic. It was like, nah, I'm just fucking with y'all. No, you was passionate about that. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Because it sounded like it was something she programmed in your brain. I'm your mother. I can do this. No. No. As younger boys, we know dad can't be kissing us on the lips at a certain age. If we heterosexual. We know it. Nah, dad, what you doing? Are you too old for that? Yeah, okay. I'll stop kissing you. So he knew somewhere along the line he was committed to what his mother indoctrinated him to. But the bigger picture, I'm saying, is take the light off of Jomo. Let's look at the bigger picture.
There's a big problem. Yeah.
What else did he endure or witness? And why we don't never have compassion? And why do we always look for perfection in people when we so imperfect? We are flawed. Whoever can hear this or view this, you know you twisted. You know you flawed. You know you got some issues. So stop shitting on everybody else that got their own issues. That's part of growing up, trying to unpack all the fucked up shit your parents gave you. And the survivors come out with therapists and life coaching. Right? We go get therapy, we go get us a life coach, we start unpacking and unlearning and relearning and start realizing, like, damn, well, you gotta be older like me and look at my kids and say, I was bugging when I was raising you. I'm sorry, but you can't take it back. Can't take the trauma back. Come on. Poverty is violence. It's the most subtle violence there is. It does the most damage. Poverty. Why we don't address that? Because we glorified it in our music.
Well, let's wrap it up with this. It's Black History Month.
Oh.
What should people do to learn more about Black history?
Stop celebrating it. That's what they should do.
And if you're not Black...
They should make it part of your culture every single day, all the time. It shouldn't be 1 month we all of a sudden start acknowledging Blackness. I like both sides of it, though, because there's no good or no bad. It's just balance. But if Black people really got an issue with Black history, I mean, I wrote an award-winning book called We the Blacks, right?
There's a movie called We the Blacks, too.
We can say whatever we want to say in this world about racism, but one thing white people don't want to be is Black. So with our Black history,
rapper.
they don't even want that, man. They
Some
want the
of those-
rewards.
Gotcha.
They don't want the skin color. So, okay, let's celebrate our Blackness all the time. Because we're not really celebrating it. The woke people, the hoteps and the wokes and the god bodies, it's 365 for us. So it's not like, oh, Black history. We know we live in Black history. We creating Black history. But this ideology that we're going to just keep running with Carter G. Woodson 1 week to 1 month, and, well, it's good for the kids and the education. Teach kids how to pay taxes, balance checkbooks, pay a mortgage, how to not spend money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't know. Let's see you try to put that in the curriculum. Real life class. Let's try that.
That can help the next generation.
That'll help this generation.
Yeah.
Let's stop running around. Teach them to buy Black. When we selling something, instead of going to spend your money with Gucci that's disrespecting you, I be wanting to smack these Black people I be seeing online. They got lines in front of Gucci now because of COVID. And be these Black people there with their little, when they was getting out them stimulus checks, whoo,
Charles
that Boca Mall was on fire.
Charles was talking about that, how Donald Trump did more for the Black people. Look, he gave the hood stimulus checks.
Please, to spark the economy, to fuel the wealth of rich people that's gonna shit on them harder. That's all that was. So, I'm Great Zach Tate, the gangster guru. Here just giving you the facts. You wanna find me at Great Zach Tate on all social media platforms. Zach Tate on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You won't see me dancing, doing no buffoonery, but want me for podcasts, I'm available.
You gonna do the what's his name? The money dance. What's his guy's name again? The rapper that came out of jail from New York.
6ix9ine?
No, he Bobby Shmurda.
Oh, the Shmurda then?
Yeah.
Shout out to Bobby Shmurda, man.
Some people are saying that he came out of jail dancing weird, like some fruity stuff.
You see? That's a whole nother stuff. We don't be smacking people no more. That's why people get to say what they want to say. Because they couldn't do 1 day of what Bobby Shmurda had endured in that prison system. And they got the nerves to criticize something he doing. But this is the world of memes now. Some people live them.
That's it. Thank you for coming on, man, for the culture.
All the time for the culture.
For the culture.